Before that, I also told you about the two types of distributed systems. And today we are going to see one type, or rather more details about one of the types. I told you that there are two types of distributed systems. One is synchronous system, and there is asynchronous distributed system. So in a distributed system, synchronous distributed system, for every process there is a time to live, or a TTL, or a time to live. Every process has a lower bound and an upper bound. So if a message is transmitted over a network or a channel, it has to be received within that bound, some time between the upper and the lower bound. So the difference between the upper bound and the lower bound is the time to live, or the TTL of the process. Now, if that does not happen and there is a drift from the real time, that means that process is not executed and it has dropped or it has failed. That is a general synchronous distributed system. Whereas asynchronous distributed system is a little different. Here, every process is independent. Every processor or every node or every process within a node or a computer or a system has its own life, has its own time to live. One process may complete in a picosecond or a millisecond or a microsecond. Another process may not happen at all. We'll be waiting for a century. We cannot do anything. They are all independent that way. So this is a general process. This is what the internet is. It is an asynchronous distributed system. But having said that, we cannot wait indefinitely for processes. One process may come in a millisecond or a picosecond or a microsecond. Another process never comes at all. We cannot wait indefinitely for that process. So some sort of synchronization methodology is employed even in asynchronous distributed systems. So this asynchronous methodology generally works on a clock. There is a process. The process takes some time to happen. There is a system clock or a hardware clock or a physical clock in your computer. You know sys date and sys time in your computer. So for every process, the clock is, the operating system functions in such a way that for every process, it adds the hardware clock or the physical clock of your computer with the time value of how much time it takes to complete the process, and makes what is known as a software clock. So software clock is hardware clock or the clock of your computer, what is there in your sys date and sys time, plus how much time is taken for a process. And when there are multiple nodes, obviously each node has its own hardware clock, has its own software clock, has its own rhythm, but there is some sort of synchronization needed in a distributed system. Now, when there is an asynchronous distributed system where every node is independent, they do what they want at their own will or time. But there is a need for some sort of synchronization. Synchronization is something like a roll call. You know, when I'm taking attendance, I'm doing a roll call. I'm checking all 44 or 43 or 44 of you, are you available? At that point of time, you freeze and you say, I am available, I am present or not present. And that kind of synchronization happens. This synchronization can be with an external synchronization, or it can be internal with each other. Now, external synchronization means they will all ping some accurate clock. Now, most accurate clocks are what is known as atomic clocks. There are some atomic clocks placed in some parts of the world which keep the actual time period. Because we know that, we live in different time zones. See, if you live in America, there are 4 time zones. If you live in Russia, there are 11 time zones. In India, there is only 1 time zone, but there is a talk of having a couple of time zones because somehow it's not very logical in certain places and so on and so forth. But still, as external synchronization means you connect to some atomic clock and synchronize. Internal synchronization means the clocks within various nodes or computers synchronize with each other, and the drift or the difference that is happening in terms. At least one point of time, if 5 nodes are talking to each other and synchronize, first node is doing P1, second node is doing P2, third node is doing P3, but all the nodes know where they stand. That is the process of internal synchronization. Now, as I told, every node has its clock. Every node may use, actually speaking, computer clocks are fairly accurate. They use some sort of crystal based clock. They are not so accurate like an atomic clock, but still they use crystal based clocks which are fairly accurate, but still there are some diversions. And these diversions or deviations are known as clock skew. So even if 2 computers are at the same time, the sys date and the sys time is the same, sometimes because of some, there could be a skew between them because of, processes in the computer. There could also be drift. One computer, there is some problem in the processor, or the frequency of oscillation is irregular, and that goes into some other speed, and another computer's clock goes in a different speed, there is a drift. We cannot have this kind of drift also. So we have to avoid skew as well as drift. Skew means each computer has its own clock. Maybe the clock is synchronized to atomic time, but sometimes there may be changes. Drift means each clock, the speed varies. It could happen, hardware problems, software problems, they drift. But we need to avoid both kinds of drift and skew, and we need to synchronize. The ideal way to synchronize is synchronize to a universal time, which probably is an atomic clock in some part of the world, and this thing. Now, how does this clock synchronization happens? Using the Christian's method. So there is a time server. This I told you is an atomic clock in some place of the country. A process can ask for a request, puts a request MR, and the time request is given, the reply comes in empty, so that the process P knows. Now here there is a sys clock, sys time, it adds that and it synchronizes with this time server. This is one way of synchronization. Another way is you can have a hierarchy. This is the atomic clock. It will send a synchronization here. This will send another synchronization. So there is a hierarchy where the time protocol is given from top to bottom. But the moral of the story is that all clocks, they need to synchronize. The synchronization ideally is external, where external means it is connecting to a clock available somewhere outside, and it tries to synchronize. But it is not always necessary that they may synchronize, because every computer may have its own problems, its own clock rate. Even the clock in the computer, the atomic clock, may have some errors. These things are quite natural. So there is bound to be skew and drift. So because of the skew and drift, we need to have a more elaborate mechanism of coordination and agreement, which we will see in the subsequent classes. Now, coordination and agreement is similar to what you have already learned as a deadlock. I have already taught you in operating systems that sometimes 2 processes are requesting for resources. There appears to be a deadlock. Both are asking for the same resource, and we come to some sort of disagreement, and we are not able to move forward. So these kind of things we can avoid using a coordination and agreement mechanism, which we will see in the next class. So I see that all of you are present. So I am just going to mark all of you present. That's all from my side today. If there is any queries I can answer, or we can meet tomorrow and